What up, guys? I'm gonna sit like a gentleman today because I'm very tired, and I'm also gonna go over my workout with my actual program and notes because I'm running out of words because my brain's so fried because I've been training my ass off. But I would like to start off by saying I'm super happy on the deadlifts because I'm finally able to rep 300 plus pounds beltless, which I haven't done in a year, so I'm slowly coming up. This is a very, very good start for me. My goal is to slowly get back to 500, repping that, and if I can deadlift 500 beltless for one, I think I'd be incredibly strong when I do a fight. And that's kind of one thing I'm really trying to prepare for this year. And I'm gonna spend the first 3-4 months really trying to get my strength back up, and then the next 3 or 4 months trying to get my conditioning up. Yes, I am gonna lose strength when I'm getting my conditioning back, but I want to get my strength up post-injury and hopefully try to maintain it and do enough volume where I can hold on to some form of strength, because I did spend an entire year like trial and error figuring out what I can do to be the best athlete possible, and I'm coaching myself, and I think I have my formula down. So it took 12 months, but I think we're off to a good start, especially with today. My top set was 355 for 5 beltless. That's really good. Next week I'm gonna attempt 365 for 5 beltless. I'm getting really close to 4 or 5, and that's freaking awesome. After that, I moved on to push presses. Once again, this is what I'm trying to do to really help energy transfer from my lower body into my arms. So I'm doing 175 now for 7 sets of 3 with 60 seconds rest. I'm kind of treating this as like a speed bench, but like kind of like a traditional conjugate system, but like a speed overhead press, so I can really build explosiveness. And one of the most overlooked things in the push press is glute activation. So people are so focused on pressing and making it a shoulder workout that one of the biggest benefits of a push press is when you sit your hips slightly back, explode with the glutes, pop your hips forward, and boom, you push the weight up. When you see extremely high level Olympic weightlifters, when they're doing jerks or squat jerks or even push presses, just glutes and hip drive alone, they can pop like 200-300 pounds off the shoulder. And that's the reason why a lot of Olympic weightlifters at the top level that are under 200 pounds can all easily box jump up to their nose. Like when you see fools on Instagram, like really athletic guys, right? Like Bradley Martin, Brad Castleberry, there's a lot of dudes, Tiny and Tough, there's a lot of dudes that can do this, and we're like, wow. But at the Olympic level for Olympic weightlifting, that's the norm. And how do they do that? By remembering to use glutes and really training that. So for me, that's a very important factor, whether I want to keep someone away when I'm fighting, or I want to really drive that cross set and really practice transferring all that energy from my legs into my hips, into my shoulders, bam! So that's what I'm training for. I'm doing very purposeful training and adapting my entire program to it. I'm doing a lot of trial and error, trying things that didn't work, this did work, stuff like that. Moving on to doing bent over rows and floor presses. I'm really trying to get my back thicker. Like this is just the bodybuilding portion. This has nothing to do with fighting or anything. This is just for the gram, you know? Like I was looking at myself, my leanest picture of last year on my Instagram, I was like 183, and I was looking at it, I'm like, damn, I am leaner, but I look kind of flat. I've been neglecting my back and my shoulders. They just didn't look full. So I gotta put some bodybuilding back in. So I did supersets with rows and floor presses, and then slowly I've been bumping it up. I started off, let's see, on week 1 I did 135 4x10 back and forth. I'm at 175 this week. If I keep this going, my goal is to be able to hit 225, superset that with floor presses and the bent over rows easily, and I think my back will get some kind of thickness. And I know it's working already because my buddy Ant from Myo Detox, he came and worked on me last week. He goes, yo, did your back get bigger? I was like, you noticed? I've been training that shit, motherfucker. So after that, I did dumbbell rows, Chinese style, where it's not supported, Chinese weightlifting style. They like to do it where you're supporting your knee, so your whole body becomes like a brace. So instead of leveraging and putting your weight onto something else, which is a really good bodybuilding movement because you can really focus on contracting the lat, it's not that much of a functional movement, because when are you gonna lean on something and pick something up? Like if you're in jiu-jitsu or whatever, you're grabbing on someone's neck and pulling their arm. Like your entire body and weight is its own system. So I like doing the Chinese style right now, where I brace my knee, my body is, I stack all my joints, and my body is this frame while I'm pulling, and I'm doing these with much higher reps. Just because I've noticed that like when I don't train in the high rep range, I might be really strong on the gym, but when you do jiu-jitsu or you do any type of fight, and there's like 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 7 rounds, even 10 rounds when you're training, all of a sudden you're like, you fire a punch, you're like, oh, my lat's cramping up, what the fuck? And when you're fighting, you gotta be able to go the distance. It doesn't matter how strong you are in round 1, someone could just dance around you for a few rounds and wear your ass out. So I'm starting to build up those higher rep ranges. So I'm doing 3 sets of 15, super low rest. And I supersetted those with the dumbbell raises, and I keep them bent, and I really try to focus on keeping my elbow above my fist, because I notice when I'm watching my hooks, I have a tendency when I get tired to have my elbow below the fist, and so you're losing power like this. You want it to be like this, you know, like when you imagine like if you're trying to nail something into the wall, you want it to be direct, right? You want to be like pop, 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 pop. Imagine when you nail something into the wall, right? When you try to hit it like this, it goes wang, 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 wang. So that's what happens if it's not stacked joints. It's like this, you're gonna lose power. So I'm really focusing on keeping my shoulder aligned with my elbow and even slightly above my fist, so that when I get tired, then I'll go back down to where I need it to be. So I'm really practicing building that shoulder strength. And finally, this is one of the things where I did trial and error. I think a few weeks ago, you might have seen me do rotational ball slams in my circuit. And that, I was just really trying to focus on firing my hips so I can throw really good, strong punches and also kicks. And I noticed I got that down now. So I was like, okay, I don't need to do that. What I need to do, what I have problem with is stability and balance. Like after I fire like a combination, sometimes like my body's kind of wobbly. Oh fuck, where the fuck did I go? And if you see high level guys at shadow box, they go shh, and then they're just like right there. They don't have to like regain their balance. And so one thing I learned from Vaseur and Dwayne Ludwig, like 2 of the top kickboxing senseis I really look up to, they finish with this exercise. Like they go like this and they just swing back and forth just to practice sinking their hips with the balls of their feet and their core, and just constantly go like this, so they constantly find that balance and they're ready to strike at any time. And I just took it up a notch, because you know, powerlifters always gotta take it up a notch. And I just had a little 10-pound weight just to mimic like the weight of a glove, you know, because sometimes you can shadow box, like, man, I'm fucking good. You put gloves on it, even though it's not that heavy, you're like, fuck, this shit's heavy as fuck after 10 rounds. So I had like a little 10-pound weight to practice to make sure keeping my hands up. And then I did box jumps. I always want to keep my GPP, which is general physical preparedness, levels up, because you never know where the fight or any athletic endeavor, going hiking, mountain biking, you never know where it can take you. So at least once a week, I want to just practice foundational movement. So in this case, it's being able to jump over a box, being able to tuck my legs, explode with the hips. Who knows, I might have to throw a flying knee, I might have to do whatever, and I don't want any movement in my arsenal to feel foreign. And then the last movement in my circuit is just moving with the sled. I've noticed that if I can move well with the sled, then no matter if the opponent is bigger than me, whether it's fighting and wrestling, I can still push his body weight back. And I felt this direct benefit when I played basketball before. So you guys remember when I got bulked up and I got up to like 230? I was fucking fat, right? And heavy. And I thought I would be slower. But I was doing so much sled work at that time that when I went to go play ball with like Dave and Nadeem and all my friends, as soon as I got the ball, when I needed to drive, my first 3 to 5 steps was explosive still. And I'm like, damn, the sled really works. It's like when you're able to move at a certain explosiveness and speed with resistance against you, when that's not there, like I think David was on guarding me, and I was 230, he was like 250 at the time. I was just driving into him. I'm like, damn, all that power, you know? So I'm like, okay, I gotta keep that up, because you never know when you gotta drive into someone, push someone back, or do shit like that. So that was my workout for today. Finished all that. Now I do my cardio session, which is martial arts, and I do a bunch of like jump roping. Then I really practice what I learn on Tuesdays with Ron in the morning. Like we structured it like a class now, like an actual class. Like Tuesdays we call it lecture, and then Thursdays we call it lab. So on Tuesdays he teaches me, I practice, drill, get the technique down. On lab days, that's when I put on headgear, mouthpiece, and we go live. Can I still execute what I learned? And then what I like doing on Wednesdays, so I used to actually do the boxing on Wednesdays, but I moved it to Monday, so that on Wednesdays now I get to kind of drill what I learned in lecture, because you got to do your homework, you know? Like this is when I was like, no wonder you have homework, because if you just keep going to class, you're not gonna remember shit. You got to do it on your own. under your own terms, own time, so you kind of really develop these things. So on Wednesdays when I do my cardio, it's light because I had a hard training session on Tuesday, hard training session on Thursday, but it's just being able to let my neurons in my brain like connect with my muscles. So I'll be doing some shadow boxing, practicing the drill. In this case specifically, it's checking with the left leg, immediately returning with the switch kick, and working on reaction drills of like kicks and counters, and I'll be working that onto the back and shadow boxing. And that was my workout. If you like our content, don't forget to support the brand, barbellbrigade.com. Let us know in the comments below what other type of content you'd like to see. Anybody you'd like to see us collab with, would be super down to. We're looking to do more collabs this year. I am trying to free up my schedule so that I can do more stuff like this. So I'm even down to travel. If you're like, yo, go collab with Max Tuning or Matt or Christian Guzman, or go see Omar's too far, I want to see him. But if you're like, go meet up with people, I'm gonna try to schedule it in and go hang and train with them. Okay? Thank you very much. That's Polish for Happy New Year. See you guys next time.